Hello everyone, I am Punya Agarwal, ACCA affiliate and one of the admins of Being ACCA, and in today's video we'll be solving questions from the topic stakeholders. It is a very short and crisp topic, only has like 5 to 6 questions, so let's understand this topic as well. This is also a very commonsensical topic. There's one major model that you have, that is Mendelow's matrix, which is very important. I'll try and explain that in detail because the video will be short, so I'll try and explain that in little detail. So let's move forward with the first question that we have is, employees are dash stakeholders while finance providers are dash stakeholders. So now you should know the difference between how many types of stakeholders that do we have. We have internal stakeholders, we have connected stakeholders, we have external stakeholders, then we have basically these three are there. So internal stakeholders may, or what all people do come, obviously your employees would come in your internal, your directors would come, right? Your managers would come. All of these people will be a part of your internal team because they're working for the organization and within the organization, right? They're working within the organization. Then you have your connected stakeholders. Connected are like your customers because they're connected to you. Then you have your suppliers. So customers are there, suppliers are there, and your obviously your finance providers are also your connected stakeholders. Why? Because they are the ones who are providing finance to you, right? And then we have the last category, which is the external, just like your government, your pressure groups are there, general public is there. All of these people are the external to your organization because they're not connected directly to you. They're the external party which are obviously getting affected by your business. That is the reason that they are known as stakeholders, but they're external. Also, I have seen many people are confused between stakeholders and shareholders. So, guys, stakeholders, I'll just explain you that also. Although that question is not there here, but many students are confused, so that is the reason that I'm explaining stakeholders and shareholders. So now stakeholders are the wider variety of people who are affected by your company. So now in stakeholders, obviously your customers come, your suppliers come, your government come, your pressure groups come. Every person in the whole wide world who can be affected by your business comes under stakeholders. But of course, you have categories in stakeholders. So shareholders is again a part of your stakeholders, and they are your basically connected stakeholders, because obviously they're connected to your, they basically part form a part of your finance provider. So shareholders, they own a part of your business, they own shares in your business. So that is a reason they're known as shareholders, right? Stakeholders, in stake whatever, all those people who are affected directly, indirectly by your business are known as the stakeholders. Even for example, Reliance. So if you have a share in the Reliance, if you have if you have bought shares in Reliance, that means you are the shareholder in Reliance. Whereas I am somebody who hasn't bought any shares from Reliance, but obviously I am a stakeholder which forms part of the general public. Or for example, if I'm government, then I am not a shareholder for sure, but I'm a stakeholder because I'm government. I'm impacted by the rules and regulations. I will be impacting them. I will be impacting their taxation as well. So that is the reason I'm a stakeholder and not a shareholder. I hope by this you are able to clear and get a clear-cut picture, uh, difference between the stakeholders and shareholders. So let's move forward to the question now. Employees are which stakeholders? I just now mentioned that employees are your internal stakeholders because they're working for you within the organization, while finance providers are connected shareholders, so stakeholders. So that is the reason A is correct. Next question. Stakeholders can be classified in several different types, as I just mentioned, including primary, external, connected, secondary. Which two categories would pressure groups? Now, pressure groups I just now explained. I hope now it is clear to you that pressure groups were obviously they're external. They're not primary to you. They are not just the immediate ones. They are the external. Pressure groups can mainly be your NGOs or like a community of people, right? So pressure groups are those, and then of course they are secondary, they're not primary to you. So that is the reason C is correct. Are there A is a large company whose shares are owned by a large number of individual investors who do not wish to engage with the company's decision making despite having full rights to do so. Okay, okay. Now it's just this is Mendelow's matrix. So I'll just make a small table over here. So you have your A category, B category, you have your C category, you have your D category, right? Now, here you have level of interest. Here you have level of your interest, and then here you have your power, right? So now, if my interest is low and my power is low, so I have a low interest and a low power. That means I will be having minimal. I will have to keep minimal efforts with that. For example, you have pressure groups. So pressure groups form part of your minimal efforts. For example, government also on some extent fall under this category because they do not have a lot of interest in your business, and of course they do not have a lot of power also. Of course they can control the rules and regulations, and if it is a government based agency or an organization or a organization which are mainly relied upon your rules and regulation which is formed by government, then of course the government will not form part of the minimal efforts category. But in most cases your pressure groups and government form part of your minimal efforts. So now, if my interest is low, for example, in this case, they are saying that large number of investors who do not wish to engage with the company's decision making. So now they have low interest, but they have high power. So high comes here. If they're low interest but high power, that means we have to keep them satisfied. राइट हमें उनको सेटिस्फाई रखना पड़ेगा क्योंकि उनका इंटरेस्ट तो लो है दे डू नॉट हैव द इंटरेस्ट इन डे टू डे वर्किंग ऑफ आवर कंपनी बट ऑफ कोर्स दे हैव अ हायर पावर बिकॉज दे ओन अ लॉट ऑफ शेयर्स इन आवर कंपनी सो दैट इज द रीजन वी हैव टू कीप देम satisfied. So यहाँ पे the answer would be keep satisfied, but let's discuss B and D as well. Okay, so now if my interest is very high, I have very high interest within your company, but my power is low. I do not have a lot of power, but because I do not have a lot of shares maybe, but I have a lot of interest within your company, then of course I will have to keep those kind of stakeholders informed about whatever is happening in the company, right? And the last one, in which of course you have high interest and high power, that means they are the key players, right? Your customers can be a part of your B tab because obviously they do not have a lot of power, but they have a lot of interest. So that means their customers have. So this model is also very commonsensical if you see. For example, let's take a very very simple example over here. If we take customers. Now you don't have to ratify, you don't have to just learn ki this will come under keep informed. No, you have to see by logic that customers obviously they do not have a power, they do not have power in your business. How will they? How will I'm a customer, right? I don't have any power in Reliance company, Reliance organization, so I have low power. But I have I may be having lot of interest because I buy a lot of products from you. I keep business relations maybe with you or something on those lines. So that means I have high interest, so I have to be kept informed whatever is happening. Just like big companies that do keep informed that this product is coming next, this is what they're doing for the environment, this is what they're doing for the people. So they're keeping them informed because they have high interest, but they do not have a lot of power, right? They do not have to keep them satisfied, they do not have to ask them because they do not have power, right? So let's move forward with the next question. I'm sorry for all the mess, but I hope that you are able to understand by this simple example. A company is using communication strategy aimed at, just a minute, yeah. Aimed at explaining the rationale behind its actions to its stakeholders. Okay, communication strategy they're using Mendelow's matrix. These stakeholders would be categorized in no, not minimal effort. How? Because they're using communication strategy aimed at explaining the rationale behind its actions. If they're explaining the rationale, why will they be in minimal effort? They can either be in your keep satisfied, or keep players, right? So that is a false statement. Sorry, this will be a false statement because they're making efforts, right? They're making efforts. The interest of customers and shareholders can often appear to conflict, of course. For example, in quality of goods and services, for sure, this is a very, very true statement, right? Because if, see, of course, if you are a customer, you will demand a product which has high quality, but the price is low. That will be a main agenda, that you get a very good quality product, but at a reasonable price. But your shareholder, because he has to earn profit, he would say that increase the price even if you have to decrease the quality. Of course, if you increase the price, you obviously will decrease the quality, right? So here the price factor plays a role. So that is the reason they have a conflict. This is an example which I'm giving. That price, they will want the price to increase so that you're increasing the price, and obviously the profit will increase, right? So that is the reason they can have a conflict in example of the quality of the goods and services, right? Okay. Next question, which is the last question. According to Mendelo, which of the following is an appropriate to take towards okay approach to take towards shareholders who have low levels of power and low levels of interest? So, as we discussed above, here it is low level of power and low level of interest gives us minimal effort. So whenever these types of questions come now, you can easily make these this chart, and you'll be able to understand the questions better, and you'll be able to answer them better as well, and answer them correct also. So this was a very short and crisp topic. I hope I was able to make you understand the topics which were there in detail about this stakeholder group topic. So if you have any more doubts, you can comment down below, or you can also reach us out on in our Instagram page, which is being ACCA. So see you in the next one.